good day to stay on. Now's your chance.
Hello and welcome back to the TNC podcast. This is episode number 54 and it's a welcome back to the biggest hooligan from Thorpe St Andrew, Mr. Robert Butler.
Harsh. Hello everyone.
How you doing, mate?
Good to see you, boys. Yeah, lovely to be here. You got the ginger beer going.
Absolutely.
I'm on the water.
Yeah, is this a little diet or?
No.
Just like water.
Rob always does this. No,
Yeah.
I like last time he was with us. He said, "Oh no, I don't eat sweets. That's just Chris." And I think it's all on that.
No, that's a lie. Yeah, as you can see. But it is hot, everyone.
It is
and I don't know. Whenever you're, you might be watching this in about 3 years and saying, "Oh, do you remember that summer of 2018?" But it is literally hot, and we've got the windows open.
Yeah.
And we are going to melt any minute.
Do you know what they're calling this heatwave?
Go on.
It's the Mediterranean melt.
Right.
Which reminds me of kind of a panini.
Yeah.
Or I'm trying to think of a Mediterranean player that wasn't very good.
They wouldn't serve that at Adidas, would they? Mediterranean melt.
No.
Sergio Canos?
Yeah, well, Brentford fans might
That's a
disagree.
bit harsh.
Talk Brentford Town or whatever. They're just Brentford, aren't they? They might be upset, but anyway. Let's get on with it. Come on,
let's get the plugs out of the
before we
way.
melt.
BBC Radio Norfolk's finest. A new show coming out, Yellow Friday. Talk to us about that.
So it's a new show. Basically, regular listeners will know that we do a show called Friday Sport on a Friday night.
Nick Bowler's not going anywhere.
No, Local Report stays. Don't worry about that. We would never get rid of Local Report. It's one of our most popular shows. That's the local football at half.
By the way, can I just interrupt?
Yeah, there's a kid out there playing.
Up and coming.
Yeah, he
goalkeeper. Yeah, we
in
need
his
a
Norwich.
keeper.
In his Norwich.
Number 9, Harry, his name is.
He's
Yeah.
the Norwich
Anyway,
new
so
number one.
what's happening live in Norwich. So cut a long story short, Yellow Friday, it's going to be... We're still going to do other sports. We're still going to talk about other things that are going on. You know, our Alfie Hewitts and Jessica Jane Applegates, Darren Webster with the darts, all the other great Norfolk sports that happen. But the main thing we're going to be doing as the main piece of Yellow Friday is we're going to be reacting to what has been said at Coney that day. So we'll be going to the press conferences. We're not quite sure yet when they're going to be, but as a rule, they were 1 o'clock on a Friday every week last season. We'll go there, me and Chris, me and Phil, or Phil and Chris will be there, and we will react to what's happened there. We're going to get fans on as well every week. You boys will be on, definitely, and we're going to react a little bit more to what's said. Rather than just kind of play the interview and go, there you go, let's move on. We're going to be a little bit more interactive, and we want to hear from fans. So if you are listening and you want to be, and you've never been on the radio, you've never done anything like that, get in touch with me. I'm on Twitter, I'm on Facebook, and we'd love to have you on board because we want to hear as many different people as we can.
And is there an email address or anything that we can link to?
NorfolkNews@bbc.co.uk. I'd rather give that than my actual personal one, obviously. So I don't know what I'll get.
GDPR.
Exactly. NorfolkNews@bbc.co.uk. I appreciate you boys plugging it. And these boys will be on it. And we've got lots of other well-known fans and hopefully some new ones as well. So
saying
thanks for the
we'll
plug.
be on it's probably just lessened the listenership.
No.
So.
Chris, people love Reeve. They love him. They love to hate him.
For all the wrong reasons.
He's taken my gimmick, which is fine. I've moved on from that.
Anyway, we're filming this on Monday evening. We know that Norwich news moves quickly. The big news of today is Tim Krul, Newcastle's finest export, maybe. He's linked with Norwich City. Now, we've been talking about this for weeks, Chris, about who's going to be in goal next season. Is it going to be Remy? Is it going to be Michael? McGovern? Tim Krul now seems like he might be the number one going into next season.
Yeah.
Initial thoughts?
My initial thoughts is I think Norwich City fans need to try to take the emotion out of this one. And the emotion is Remy's a Norfolk boy, he's been here forever, he's respected the club. Yes, that's so true, but football's a cruel sport, and I've got so much respect for Remy to stay. And by the way, if Tim Krul comes in, I hope he does leave, because I think he should be number one somewhere. He's definitely good enough to be number one somewhere. But when you've got an experienced player like Tim Krul coming in, that's played in the World Cup, that's played in the European Championships, that's played huge games for Newcastle in the Premier League, and of course he's been injured of late. But again, it's a signing for me that it's a chance for him to rejuvenate his career. And I'm excited to see him partner up, particularly with the European defenders such as Tim Close. I think it will really work well.
I mean, he hasn't signed yet, but Rob, I don't think anyone's doubting Tim Krul's experience in that season when I think Newcastle, did they get into Europe, or they're certainly challenging?
Yeah,
he was one of the best keepers in the Premier League.
He was.
However, 20 games in, I think, 3 years. It's kind of rotting away in AZ Alkmaar, not getting in Chris Hughton's Brighton side. Against a player in Remy Matthews who kept 10 clean sheets in 27 games, took Plymouth from near the bottom of League One to nearly in the playoffs. bit harsh on Remy?
It is harsh.
He's done his research. I like Remy Matthews. I think he's got a lot of potential. People telling me, and I wasn't in Germany. Obviously, lots of you were watching, and lots of you have told us how he played. And we've seen some. I saw some of the games on the stream, and Chris Gorham was there, and he filled me in. And yeah, Remy didn't have the best tour. I think he'd admit that himself. But I'm not saying the club are going to write him off. I think some fans are writing off Remy Matthews, which is wrong, because you have to give him a chance. You can't say he's been given a chance if he's played, 2 games against German opposition.
Yeah.
That's not a proper chance. However, Tim Krul, he's a great name. He's a name that's been at the top of the game. He's played in the Premier League, as Chris said. He's played in the World Cup. So I don't think we could find anyone better if we're trying to get in someone on the cheap, if you like, on a free transfer.
Yeah, sure.
You won't get anyone better than Tim Krul. But I also feel sorry for Remy, because he's a good lad and he's a local boy. And I think you're right. Take the emotion out of it, but we still want to be seeing our academy products give a go, and at least given a chance. And let's not get in the trap of poor old Josh Murphy, where fans were giving him stick.
Yeah, I agree, and I think there is an element of protection with the whole Remy thing. Actually, from probably the club, they're probably thinking, actually, do we want to put him under fire because he has been so loyal to the football club? No, I'm excited about it. And by the way, who's to say that Tim Krul won't come in at number 2 whilst he's still on the verge of getting up to full fitness
Tim
again?
Krul would want to be
We've been
number 2
blessed with
Club?
we've been blessed with number 1 quality goalkeepers for years, absolutely years. Even if you trace all the way back to Gunny, the Norwich City Goalkeeping Academy, we've always had it. Even some Premier League clubs, mate, they're having goalkeepers come in. They're not playing well, and they're getting them out. And they'll have a switch round. They're number 1 and they're number 2. Liverpool, they've been played with it for seasons. So even if Tim Krul came in and Remy stayed, and they competed for a place, I wouldn't see that as too much of an issue. Yes, we've had Gunny as number 1 all season, every single game, and that was brilliant to watch. And it is good to build chemistry between that back 4 or back 3 with your goalkeeper. But for me, I don't see it as the end of the world if Tim Krul comes in at number 2.
He could. Lots of people have said that on the comments I've seen on the dreaded social media. Lots of people have said,
Come on now, Rob.
I know. Well, I know it's your
It's
job.
my job.
Exactly. But there are other ways you can talk. You can go down the pub and talk about it as well, or do it on podcasts.
It's the Pinkham Forum.
Yeah, well, yeah.
We certainly don't endorse alcohol on here.
No, we don't.
Or gambling.
Well, just a pint of Coke
definitely
or
not. Or
but
Falcon Cranes.
Exactly. So on BBC, I can't comment on it. I would say that lots of people have been saying exactly what you said, which is Tim Krul will push it, and if it's a 3 and it's McGovern, Matthews, and Krul, again we need to stress he hasn't signed. It's only a sort of report we've seen, but he might push him. He might, like you say, there might be a kind of another race to be number 1.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
The bottom line is we're all going to agree on this, because that man has sat in this very chair. Angus Gunn is a massive hole to fill. We're not going to see many better goalkeepers ever play for Norwich. He's going to go on to be an England international. He's going to be one of the best, certainly best English goalkeepers in the Premier League. It's a massive hole to fill. So, and Remy would admit himself, to go from Angus to Remy is a step down, because Remy's not quite there yet. But I just want to see Remy Matthews be given a fair crack of the whip, and who's to say he's not going to be? We can't work out what's in Farke's head.
Yeah. Chris, I know you said earlier, and I do agree with you, we've got to kind of take the emotion out of this. However, under Daniel Farke, under Stuart Webber, if Krul was to come in, that would now become our oldest signing. Krul's 30. Put yourself in the shoes of an academy player. You're looking at Remy Matthews. He's maybe been said, look, you'll be given a chance this season, and then that chance is gone by a player who's played 30 times in 3 years.
I know.
Are you a little bit upset as that young player coming through, looking at that academy player in Remy Matthews, who deserves the chance isn't given a chance?
If you look at the current conversion of academy prospects being blooded into the first team, it is factually better than ever before. Fact. And yes, Remy might not get his chance, but if you're an outfield player, I wouldn't be disheartened by Remy not getting in. It's football, it's harsh, and Remy is a top guy. I'm sure he is an amazing chap. I know you're his buddy, Jack, but as I say, I've got to go back to it. It's football, and it's the same with Daniel Farke and his position. 5, 6, 7 games in, if it ain't good enough, it's football. It's a results business. Sorry.
But all I would say is, and again, social media, you do have to accept that it is. We certainly use it on Canary Call to gauge people's thoughts. I just think it's a little bit harsh on Remy to judge him on on a couple of games that a
Absolutely.
lot of people haven't even seen.
Yeah.
And obviously we value the reports of all our friends that were there, and he did make a couple of mistakes, and perhaps his distribution wasn't great. But to me, it's sort of going against what we've been plugging with the Josh Murphy thing. Is the lad was upset and he didn't like the fact he was getting stick. We shouldn't be doing that to any of our players, even less so our academy products, because we need to encourage and get behind these lads rather than just going, well, he ain't good enough, get rid. That just worries me a little bit with Norwich fans. They're a little bit hypocritical.
And the thing I find frustrating, Rob, is Ben Godfrey was equally at mistake for some of them goals. No one's writing Ben Godfrey.
Because they like him.
One's saying we want to replace him.
Very interesting.
However,
He's a
for
good
Remy
player.
Matthews, no, let's get him out.
No, mate, brilliant point. Honestly, a brilliant point. But another side of the coin is, with Josh Murphy last season, he should, and I honestly, I would say it to his face, he should not have been playing games of football, in my opinion. When it started to go wrong, Daniel Farke, he stuck with him, and he kept getting pelters, and he kept putting him out on the pitch.
Yeah, but I think
he just kept getting pelters.
he was
Protect him, he's a young lad.
No, he's not though, is he? He's been around a long time. I remember his debut.
Younger,
He's
even
younger,
still.
Josh Murphy's got a thick skin. We needed to play him, Chris, because he was the best we had. He would still get in our team now. That's why he's playing in the Premier League. Josh Murphy, he would admit himself that certain times the end product wasn't quite there.
Yeah.
But he's a winger. Dare I say, the great Darren Huckabee would admit himself there. And I know if he sees this, he'll say that's not true, and it probably isn't. But every winger, Darren Eadie, Darren Huckabee, are two best ever wingers. Even there was games I remember them just having a bit of an off day and perhaps the ball wouldn't get put over and then have a little huff and a puff. But that's wingers. That's the game. But you can't all be Darren Eadie and Darren Huckabee.
Yannick Vuljcic.
Darren Huckabee himself. But if
See
you
you,
mentioned
Yannick.
Darren Huckabee himself came on the TalkNorwichCity podcast, and one of the things that sticks out in my mind is he commented on Josh Murphy not coming out wide enough, and not running.
But
at
whose
players
fault is
enough.
that? Who's telling him to
Absolutely,
do it?
absolutely. But this goes back to my point of, if he's not doing it right, let him work on it in training. Don't throw him at the deep end.
But we didn't have any. But anyway, it's a moot point now because he's gone and we've moved on.
Absolutely.
But Josh
Great
Murphy.
money for him.
But we'll see, won't we? Because if they don't spend it on anything good, it's not great money. But that's another point. But Josh Murphy was an excellent player for Norwich City. He was our, second top scorer. He did a lot for the club last season. But he still did it. He's still the facts are there, and I understand why. I'm not moaning about the fact they've sold him, but I just think this kind of everyone's having a go at Josh. Loads of people on social media going, "Stop having a go at Josh. This is disgusting." I wouldn't be far wrong if I said those same people are the ones going, "Oh, we don't need Remy Matthews, just get Tim Krul." Yeah. So you can't have it both ways. You can't be all right off Remy Matthews. But it's not the lad sees it. The lad is on Twitter. For him to see that and go, "All right, well, Norwich fans don't want me." It's not going to help anyone. I don't think.
It's a really good point. I think the Norwich fans do need to remember that the players are on social media. Not that they actually care, because they can do what they want.
I think they do. I think they definitely do.
But I mean, with respect, if they're going to tweet saying Remy Matthews was shit today, then they've got the right to do that. Absolutely, this is a TalkNorwichCity podcast. Not
that does now mean I don't get any ad revenue, but not to worry.
Sorry, guys.
Cut that out.
I don't know. Anyway,
let's move on. Let's move to the other end of the pitch. The Germany tour is now over. We saw a few of our new strikers score goals. One of them being Jordan Rhodes. This is the man,
another experienced player
who broke the news.
Oh, it wasn't just me, but I was
it was you who started it.
Don't
take the credit.
Well,
and fair play, because when I first saw that, I thought, this has been rumbling on for about 17 years now that we've been linked to Jordan Rhodes, and this is the year we've got him.
Yeah.
What do you think of him as a player? Do you think he's going to contribute?
Look, I'm not going to get into the, who said what was reported, what wasn't. That doesn't matter. The bottom line is Jordan Rhodes has signed, and I'm also not backing him because I stuck with my guns all summer saying I think he's desperate to be here and Norwich really want him. It's happened, but the reason I think he's going to do the business for Norwich is I think you can't ignore Jordan Rhodes' record. And yes, everyone's shouting at the TV. I know that he's had a couple of bad years. The bottom line is Jordan Rhodes 2 years ago would have signed him. We would have happily had Jordan Rhodes. So
for probably a sizable fee,
correct,
as well.
And we were much higher up the league. So now we're in a much lower position in the league. We are a mid-table team trying to look up. That's where we are. Jordan Rhodes is ideal for what we need. It didn't work out for him at Sheffield Wednesday. He was desperate to come in. He wants to play football. He's going to feel comfortable being in Norfolk because he obviously has roots back in East Anglia when he was there for a few years. So I think it's a brilliant signing. I think it's a master stroke. I think he's going to turn out brilliantly, and I think he's going to score goals.
That's
We're also
big.
going to go up
That's
as champions.
big. I like
I won't
it.
go that far, but I think Jordan Rhodes is going to do all right for us because he's the sort of player you need. He
No,
works
fair play,
hard
Rob. Fair play.
and he can get on the end of things. Do you
think-
disagree?
No. I totally agree with you. I really respect the fact that you're putting your head above the parapet by saying that. I think that
But we'll delete this later.
look, I think that we're talking about blooding in academy players, but I think that last season, if you were to sum up the squad, for me, it's just meh. There wasn't really, apart from Grant Hanley, there wasn't
What, last
really any
season?
standout leaders, or more importantly, barkers. There's a difference, right?
Barkers.
Bradley Johnson, have to mention that Rob's on the podcast.
You know that
Grant-
emoji where eyes, the like, heart eyes? That's what I just
Yeah,
did.
I've just felt your heart rate increase.
Oh, God.
Bradley Johnson.
Bradley.
Ooh. Mate, we need people on the pitch barking, and we need a leader from the front. Nelson Oliveira is not a leader from the front. He's not a barker from the front. He's not going to demand
What
the
is a
ball.
barker?
I
A
know what you
barker
mean.
is someone that
Yeah.
shouts on the football pitch.
Yeah.
You need a yapper. You need a Kenny McLean in midfield, giving it large.
Yeah.
Niggling at the opponents. No, absolutely. Let's get emotional about it. We
I thought
need
you said
players
take the
that are
emotion.
going
I
to
thought you said
bark.
take the emotion.
No,
out.
very different.
No, you
very,
said
no,
take
no,
the
no,
emotions
very
out.
different. On the pitch, we need emotion.
Right.
Yeah, I agree.
We need emotion.
I agree.
So-
And the blend between experienced players and youth players has only just been out. Look, Daniel Farke has now had, and Stuart Webber, they've had a full summer window, ultimately to get a squad that is now theirs, in my opinion. So they've got to, and I think that Rob's right. I think they've nailed it. They've got the likes of Jordan Rhodes. If Tim Krul signs, that's a fantastic experience signing that's able to coach the young players, to develop
Yeah,
the young
take
players.
away the Remy Matthews issue.
Talk
It's a
about
good
the Champions
signing,
League
yeah.
nights. Talk about the World Cup finals. Inspire these people. I think it's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Jamal Lewis with Felix Paslak again is another one
Yeah.
for me.
Max
He's-
Aaron's coming through. He's
Absolutely,
a great little player.
these young left and right backs are going to be looking at Felix Paslak and going, Jesus, this guy's been in the Champions League. That is exactly what we need to do, and it's bloody smart.
Now, I'm just going to play devil advocate here.
Standard.
It's your job, Jack.
Jordan Rhodes, I think he scored 8 goals in the past 2 seasons.
Yeah.
3 of them came against Norwich City.
Yeah.
Now, you
Perfect.
say this is exactly what we need. What is Jordan Rhodes? Because I haven't watched Sheffield Wednesday
Okay,
much over the
well,
past 2 seasons. You're the man
I've,
who
se-
knows.
I've seen Jordan Rhodes numerous times, obviously playing for various other clubs and Sheffield Wednesday. He is what you need in the Championship. He's got a bit of rough and tumble about him. He's not afraid to get involved. He can play with his back to goal. He's not slow. He's not known for being massively quick, but he's not slow. He's got an injection of pace.
Yeah.
And he can finish. We saw one in Germany where he was just on the end of something and got there.
Yeah.
Far too often, Nelson Oliveira, as an example of where we were last season, was just dropping so deep.
Yeah.
Because fair play to him, he wants to get involved,
Yeah.
which give him credit for that.
Yeah.
He'd be playing as an extra central midfielder. Basically, he'd get something and he'd do one of his great flicks or a little pass, and then there's no one there at the end. Jordan Rhodes will do what he needs to do, and he'll just do everything he needs to do in that area of the pitch he needs to be.
Can Jordan Rhodes play up top in his own role?
It remains to be seen, but they wouldn't have signed him if they didn't think he could.
Should and / could or will Daniel Farke play 2 up top next
Well,
season?
I think it's going to be. I mean, that's the losing of Maddison is a big blow, but obviously because he's a legend. He's going to be a legend, and he's a great footballer.
Is James Maddison better than Jack Wilshere? Yes or no?
I said to you before we started recording, he will be better, and I did say that he will be a better player than Jack Wilshere. He's
There you go. You can carry on now.
He's definitely. But no, joking aside, Maddison played in that sort of advanced role where he
Yeah.
could link up with whoever's up front. Sadly, it didn't work, and Maddison would be generally the one who was scoring the goals. But I think Rhodes probably does need a little bit of help. He's got the likes of Maurice Leitner, who's going to
Absolutely.
obviously ping him through.
gonna
He's
say
got
that.
Tommy Tribal, who can move about a bit. He's got Anel Hernandez, who I really like, and I think can be a top player for us. There are options in there, and obviously he's got the GOAT as well.
The GOAT.
Exactly.
yeah.
By the way, fantastic
So
tweet.
yeah, well
done, well played.
I know a Finnish lad. So and he told me. So yeah, I mean, I think we'll find that Pookie is the man. Perhaps he plays a little bit deeper, and Chris told me from being at Kings Lynn and the Crawley game that's kind of where Pookie plays. So it might be that he's the number 10.
So Pookie's poking him through.
Pokey's
Team.
pooking him for Rhodes to finish him. Yeah,
Team.
that's what I want to see.
So where does Shrebretti fit into this then? Or does he not?
Yeah, job centre. I don't know. But, no, look, bottom line is they obviously rate him. They obviously like him. That's why they signed him. But
He's young.
yeah, I mean,
Give him
look,
a
I'm not
chance,
going to
Rob.
write him off because you've got to give your lads a chance, as we said earlier. But let's be honest, the evidence is that he's not going to be the answer to Norwich City's goal scoring problems. However, let's give him an opportunity to settle in. we've now got Pookie and Rhodes ahead of him. Nelson is still on the books, so come Birmingham he might be there.
Interesting.
And then you've got Sabreni as your fourth. So put him on the bench, see what happens. So come on, Jack, what do you think?
Well, my only worry is I'm looking at this solely on stats. We've got a Jordan Rhodes who hasn't really scored goals in the past 2 seasons. Timu Pukki, who came from, where did he come? The Danish leagues?
Brombu.
Right,
Timu,
well known.
Timu Pukki, he's the greatest fit in history.
Come on, Brombu, as they are called. It's a big club in
from the
Denmark.
town of Kotka.
Yeah, but it's not the Championship, is it?
Yeah.
We've got a Dennis Shrabeni who scored 1 goal in, I think, 10 games.
We know he's pretty poor.
Did you say...
And we've let go of our main goal-scoring asset in James Maddison.
What was your favourite season watching Norwich City ever? Tell me right now. I know what the answer is, but just tell me. Paul Lambert was your favourite season.
Yeah.
Championship promotion.
Yeah.
Were you banging on about stats then? Of all of those average players?
Yeah, but let's just let him finish.
Well, no, because
He's
I haven't seen... And I haven't, look, I'm open to all of this. I just think when you sell your best players, which maybe not sell them, Angus Gunn, James Maddison, Harrison Reed is gone.
We've sold Reed and we've sold Murphy and Maddison.
There we go. And replaced them with someone from Denmark and a Championship striker who hasn't really scored goals. I'm just struggling to get excited.
You should be concerned. No, you should be concerned. But I think, as me and Rob have already highlighted, I think we need to go into this season with good, positive vibes and be optimistic.
No, I don't think fans need to be positive. I think the players need to be positive.
No, I think the players feed off the fans.
Perhaps I need to rephrase that. It's not. Yeah, all right. We need to be positive. We need to be behind them. Of course, we always will be as fans. But the bottom line is, Jack's raised an excellent point. But I'm not one of these people that's saying we're going to go up, we're going to challenge for the players. Sure. I don't think we what I think what Jack, I would say about Jack, a great point that he's made is, let's just lower our expectations, and if it comes to be higher than that, let's have a party. But I actually think if you are replacing James Maddison, who is going to be the England captain one day, with Timu Pukki, then that's a massive step down. And that's no disrespect to Timu Pukki, who's obviously a decent player, who plays for Finland, and he's had a good career.
He's got a wonderful name as well.
Got a great name.
I'm sorry, boys, but my expectancy will not drop. Because it was already lower last season.
That's fine.
So what is your expectations?
Last season, I lowered my expectations massively. New head coach, new toilet cleaner, new players everywhere, all over the park. A player that had never kicked a ball in his life, playing as number one for your football club, that's got all the pressure in the world. My expectations down here. Now, for me, and I've said it, and I need to keep saying it, next season I'm excited because there are no excuses. Last season was rotting away with excuses, injuries, not the right player, blah 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 blah, attitude, fans, atmosphere. Come on, there's no excuses now. So for me personally, I'm sure there'll be people watching and listening to this too. No, Rob, no, there are no excuses next season.
No, okay. Well,
can you name an excuse next season?
I could probably think of many that'll come up during the season, but that's football. There's no football club who's going to say, "I think we're definitely going to go up this season."
I'm not saying we're going up, Rob. But
so there will be excuses, not excuses.
Why?
There will be explanations as to why.
Explanations are different.
So and we won't, because we'll be all right. If we lose 4-0 at Birmingham on the opening day, Farke's not going to come out there and say, we were just rubbish. He'll say, well, it's because of this, it's because the ref did this, it's because so-and-so got injured in the first minute, it's because that. So there's always going to be explanations why. That's football.
I think...
But Farke is under the spotlight, definitely.
Take ownership.
Definitely.
I just think we need to take ownership of our own problems.
Yeah.
Don't train them as hard if they're getting injured.
Well...
Don't whip them around.
I don't know about these sort of things.
Right, anyway.
You need to get Farke asking about
Pre-season is coming to a close. We've got a trip to Luton.
Yeah, I'm going.
Going to Charlton as well?
No, Chris is doing Charlton.
Right, now, I had wrote down here, I remember when you went to Charlton last year, it might have been Chris, and you took that picture of James Maddison and you said, this man is... Did you call him, he's going to be a star? Or something along those lines?
Let's not misquote me to say better.
Let's not overhype James Maddison.
He said he's going to go to Leicester for 25 million a year's time.
Yeah. I had a chat with him, and that's where we kind of struck up, I wouldn't say a friendship, because he's not a friend of mine, unfortunately. I'd love him to be. That's where we got on, and I became, every time I saw him, we had a chat and got on. And I had a little chat with him, and then we did an interview, and he said, I'm back, and I want to have a chance at playing in the first team. And I'm sitting there going, you're saying you want to have a chance playing the first team, right? You've just come back. And he said, that's all I'm really worried about. It's just being in and around the first team. fast forward a year, he's the hottest prospect in English football.
Yeah.
He's going to be a superstar. He already is. He's one of the best players we've ever seen in a Norwich shirt in my lifetime. So it's funny how
Strange how young players being given a chance can.
And he was so humble,
lead
and
on to
anyone
good
who
things.
tells you about James Maddison will tell you what a genuinely great guy he was to deal with, and an absolutely great human being.
Anyway, my
Brilliant
question
attitude.
from this was: have you seen anyone this pre-season? Not who's going to go on to be a James Maddison, but you think, God, he could be a really good player for Norwich City.
I want to say Anel Hernandez, because again, having spoke to him, having interviewed him, and it's not about liking people, but it's just you get a feeling about someone, which I did with James Maddison. He is genuinely a really switched on guy. His English has improved massively, so he's obviously been working really hard on that, which I think is great.
Yeah.
And he really wants to be part of it. We did a thing with him at a boxing gym.
Good,
Graham
but he
Edwards
looked pretty
boxing
good.
gym. He was brilliant.
He's Cuban, yeah.
They know how to box there. And he just genuinely seemed like a good geezer. And I've been impressed with him. A geezer, that's a bit of a word, isn't it?
No,
Good
like
guy, geezer. I've just been impressed with him. I think he's positive. I think he's quick. I think he's got a trick. I think he's quite direct, and I quite like that about him. He's powerful. I don't know if he's going to be going to Leicester for 25 million this time next year, but he's perhaps one to watch.
What about kind of the under 23s? Have you seen anyone who's?
Well, Max Aaron's, I can say this now because you'll say, well, of course you would, but he always did impress me, and I interviewed him last season as well before.
Maybe it's you, Rob. Maybe it's
be
people you interview.
And he was just a dream to interview, and he came through with Jamal. He grew up in sort of round about Luton, and they both came from Luton,
Right.
so he's obviously really tight with Jamal. And really impressive young man, got the right attitude. Because get Paul McVeigh on, your mate, my mate, your mate. Macca will tell you, if you've got football, if you can play football, that's one thing, that's 10% of it. The rest of it is attitude. Yeah. And when you talk to Jamal Lewis, that moment, I was lucky enough to be the first to do a sort of pre-match with Jamal Lewis. He lit the room up. He lit the room up. We were like, wow. You know,
and that's an intimidating thing, isn't it? Going into a press conference with
Paddy Davin there. But yeah, no, it is honestly. I mean, I'd be scared. But he lit the room up, and he was smiling, massive smile, and Max Aarons was the same. You know, so he's another one that's obviously got such a great attitude. He can obviously play football, but we all know, and Macca will tell you, it's about attitude because we haven't got the talent. Well, I speak for myself. You know, I know you're decent in the Matalan or whatever, but we haven't got the talent. We can all kick a ball, but these lads are born with the talent, but it's the attitude that takes you there, and that's what you need.
Absolutely.
Chris, you were banging very hard on the Carlton Morris drum last season. He unfortunately got injured.
Yeah.
The player who's looking like him, Adam Adair.
Yeah.
Scored 4 goals against Borussia
Yeah.
Dortmund, scored a goal against Kings Lynn.
Yeah.
Maybe a shot against Stevenage in the Cup.
A lot of interest there. But then a lot of interest in Carlton Morris. Still gutted he's injured because I think that he is. I still think he's got a massive future at Norwich City, certainly.
Great. And Adam Ida, I saw him a few times in the Cup and what have you, the Youth Cup. Absolutely, he's powerful, he's quick, he looks way older than he is in terms of he's big and strong. And he's, again, you know, you talk to him and he's so confident, and he's, you know, Irishman as well, which, you know, always got a bit of cockiness, the Irish, and, you know, he's tremendous, absolutely tremendous. So he's another good one, I mean, there's some good lads coming through.
Good, the future's bright. Interesting story I was reading today about Daniel Farke. He's, of course, only got 1 year left on his contract. Where do we think his future lies? Do we think he's at Norwich City? Do we think he's going to be the long-term manager of Norwich City? Or, you know, he was saying contract negotiations can wait a little while. Do you think the board are fully behind him?
Oh, good question.
I love the way you posed that.
That's a good question. He's been working at Anglia for a while.
I know.
Malcolm Robertson taught you that. I think that's a really good question. I won't comment on what the board think because I don't know that. What I would say is that I don't know about a good start. He needs a good sort of 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
I think he needs.
And if that doesn't happen,
they'll get rid.
Yeah,
they will get rid.
Well, Stuart Webber's gone on record saying that, isn't he? That now we have a head coach system in there, we can replace Daniel Farke.
Yeah, I don't think he's gone on record saying I'll get rid of Daniel Farke.
No,
I know what you
he
mean.
said that the
Probably
system
before
that we've
we
got
got Farke,
means
yeah.
absolutely.
But yeah, I think you're right, and it is. It's literally take him out, put someone else in. Who's the next one? You know, Webber loves German football. There'll be another German manager, maybe. I don't know.
But let's back Daniel Farke.
Or Neil Warnock.
Neil Warnock. Or Mick McCarthy is still looking for a club.
Warnock, I'd take him. But no, I'm not. I've got, I've said many times how much I like Daniel Farke as a bloke. I think he's brilliant with the press.
Sure.
And he's obviously a good coach. The guy knows what he's doing. So, yeah, absolutely back him 100%.
Right, I'm introducing a new segment just for this week only.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Wow.
It's called They Do It in Train or Not, Neil.
Oh, God.
This is the segment where we ask Rob what we think the team will be like next season. Now, I don't know what starting 11 we will see next season. Maybe that's because the team is simply so strong.
Yeah.
Midfield. Now, this is the area we're going to be concentrating on. I think we probably know the defence. We've got a lot of midfielders.
Yeah, we have 15, I think.
15?
I think it's 15 midfielders.
Hello, Stats.
How are we going to fit 15 midfielders in a midfield 3 or 2? Or what do you think is going to happen, Rob?
Well, I would say the first choice, I think Kenny McLean's in there as a first choice.
Big step up.
Straight away?
Yeah, I think so, because he's obviously looked the part in pre-season, but you can't always judge it on pre-season. I think I'd still go with Alex Tettey.
Really?
He's got chicken pox.
Yeah, well, goose pox is
Goose pox.
So,
the
Dave,
manager
are
calling
you
it.
playing two central defensive midfielders then?
Well, hang on.
You're not
because
dropping Tommy Trybull, are you?
Kenny McLean pushes up. Kenny McLean pushes up.
But you're definitely not
'Cause
playing
I'll tell you where
Trybull
I've
and
got-
Tete together, are you?
Hang on a minute. Just let me figure it out, because you need to go through your whole team. But Kenny McLean can push.
Yeah, agreed.
Because I was told, because Chris Sutton phoned me as soon as we signed him, name drop, and he said, if he's replacing Maddison, that's not a bad shout. That wasn't his exact words, but he said he is a similar, obviously not as good, but he's a similar type player.
Do you want a pen and paper just to jot?
Yeah,
kind
go
of tactical, because I know it's tough.
For me, as
Of
long
course
as
we've got-
Leitner is in there, threading the balls through to the forwards, because we need to play the front two next season, or front three, if
Do we think we're going a three?
So we're starting right from the back.
Yeah, I'm going to have to do a whole team.
And you put Remy Matthews in goal.
Well, that's who he is at the minute, isn't it? Number one. Got to be.
Interesting. Okay, so Tim Krul's dropped to the bench.
Well, he hasn't signed yet.
No, you've
As
dropped
a
him.
third.
You've dropped him.
So, are we going a back three?
Yeah, I think that.
Okay, I think we'll go back three, because I think that works quite well. So we'll obviously go.
I'm going to film this so we can kind of.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll
Yeah.
film this on my phone.
So we'll go-
So you keep going.
Timmy K.
This is good. This is good.
Dual camera.
Obviously, Grant Hanley, who has been struggling with injury, but we'll assume he's going to be fit. And
Nice handwriting, Rob.
I don't know about that.
No, it's readable. It's nice.
And then we'll go with Zim, Big Zim.
Yeah.
I love the Zim.
Yeah.
Okay.
So much interest there.
Right.
He's also a good boxer. It looked.
Sean Raggett, thoughts?
Well, he hasn't really been given a chance, has he? Again, but I mean, there's obviously something they don't like about him or don't rate about him, so that's why.
Okay.
So he'll probably end up on loan. But I loved him when we signed him. I thought he was going to be great. But
Okay.
anyway, so left. Are we saying Lewis if he's fit?
Well, Stiepermann's been playing a lot.
Yeah, but that's because Lewis has been in.
Stiepermann wants
been ill,
midfield.
hasn't he?
Okay,
So
Lewis,
Lewis
yeah.
had the old thripply bits, hasn't he? So
Stiepermann wants
now,
midfield.
as it stands, I'm saying Pinto.
Ooh.
I think it'd be harsh on him, but he might not be. We don't know. But Pashlak's obviously there. So let's go McLean as your sort of your
Pinto won't be
attacking
here.
midfielder.
Pinto won't be here.
Tetty, Tribal.
I can't believe you're playing those two together.
How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so
Sorry to all the podcast listeners right now.
yeah, this is really
And
boring.
SoundCloud
We'll edit
listeners,
this,
of
don't
course.
worry. Hernandez. And then he can sort of do that, yeah.
Right.
And then
Interesting.
there you go. But that, what do I know? That's just what. That's
So
just
no
how I would do it.
Pookie. No.
Not at the minute, no. But this is a long season. That's just how I'd start Birmingham. But again, I haven't studied Birmingham, so I don't know exactly
How does
what they're going to do.
this thing work with Hernandez being a winger and only having one winger on the pitch?
Well,
'Cause for me, that
I think you just switch it. I think you just switch it around, and perhaps McLean's a little bit more sort of over there as well, so he can kind of, because Madders used to do that, didn't he? Just kind of go anywhere.
I think with a couple of
Modern
arrows,
art, Rob.
Yeah.
it makes everything make sense.
Well, the arrows is like Football Manager, isn't it? When you have the arrows.
Yeah.
But I look, he might want to keep it balanced with two wingers, but
Why
we haven't really got a left-sided winger. have we?
I'm really, yeah, but even still, I'm really struggling seeing Tete and Tribal in there together.
I just think that's
It's
a wall.
too
A wall.
Yeah, but why?
Because-
Why not bring the game
Well, no,
to the
obviously
opponents?
Leitner's going to be gutted.
How are you dropping
That's my
Leitner
team.
there?
Well, I haven't dropped him because it's
Yeah.
the first game of the season.
You've dropped him.
Well, I
Deal
haven't,
with the facts,
'cause
Rob. He's not on the sheet.
No, but he's not dropped unless he's been in, is he? You know. That's how I put it to him. I say, look, Mo, let's just chill.
Mate, Mo's class.
Mo
That's
is
criminal.
class.
You
I'm
can't
not-
drop
but
him
it's a long
first game of the
season.
season.
Well, I would say I like Tetty if he's fit. I like Tribal, and I think they just get really sure they're away from home. McLean can just be that little bit more.
Agreed. Here's the middle ground between us two potentially. This team away from home, nice. For me, next season at home, I need to see Norwich City bringing the game
you did
to
say
the
Birmingham,
opponents.
didn't
I did. Yeah.
Absolutely, agreed.
Right, let's get on to Twitter questions now. I think we have got the most questions ever for a podcast
What
guest.
is
And I
that?
think the previous best was your BBC colleague, Mr. Nick Conrad.
God dear.
We love Nick.
Now the first question, and this is an important one, and Rob actually has already replied to this, not with his answer, but this is from Joe Denton, who we always read the bios of, and Joe clearly knows this because he puts, Jack Reeve must follow me if he sees this. Norwich City season ticket holder,
You don't.
sales at Speedo, and teach coach swimming. So I'll follow Joe for that.
Well done, Joe.
He asks, which player would have the best chance of winning the ITV show Love Island?
Great show. Watch it every night.
Do you actually?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you
alright.
phone in and vote? And
No.
He does.
No. Maybe.
Hello, Neil.
I would say the person with the best chance. I'm just looking at the team here we've got now, but I'm trying to think of the squad as well.
Todd Cantwell.
I
He's
had
my winner.
I had help from someone with this. I'm going with Jamal Lewis because of that smile.
Yeah.
True.
He's just a good-looking lad. He's positive. He's young.
Tell you what, though, the
he's,
Zim.
You know,
Zim's a beefcake,
he's
isn't
quite. He's a bit older. He'd be like paired up with Laura, the air hostess. He's a bit older. She's 29 apparently. So
Apparently.
some Love Island bants there.
mature.
Yeah.
Well, cool.
So I'd go Jamal because I think he's a great.
What does it
kid.
take to be a good Love Island contestant?
Good looks, which that rules us out.
Banter.
Banter, that rules you out. I don't know. What you tell me? You work for ITV, so what?
Go
I
on.
think just if you're good looking, isn't it, really?
So that rules us all out, mate. I'm afraid.
Yeah, right.
Jay Lawrence, what's it like working with
God.
me?
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
No, he's a good lad, Joe.
Of course, of Absolute Radio fame.
Yeah, I know he's on other things. We can talk about it. I try and talk about it on air, but Chris is good at sort of bringing me back to where I should be. But yeah, Jay Lawrence, he's on Absolute Radio. He's on every week. He's on Absolute Radio 90s, and he has to pretend that he knows about 90s music, even though he's
You saying he doesn't?
I have to tell it. He asked me for stories about 90s Britpop and stuff. So, but he is genuinely I think he's sometimes on a Sunday morning. I was on my way to somewhere the other day. And he is brilliant. If you're about my age and you like Absolute Radio 90s, I had it on as I came in when I drove to here. It's a brilliant station. And Jay,
drops
all
the
joking
bangers.
aside,
He drops
he's
the
a
bangers.
fantastic DJ and he's got a massive future. He's brilliant, and we love having him with us.
Brilliant. Lewis Matthews, with Russell Martin out of the first team, who will be issuing the annual mid-season rallying cry?
Zimbo, he's good. He's under feet are under the table. He's a brilliant. You know, he really does want to do a lot of press. He's always happy to do it. He goes to the forums, the social club forums with Diane Blazier, sorts out, and he sort of stays right till the end, helps them clear up and get bin liner and put all the volleybonds in and all that. He absolutely loves it. So I think he's the one you'd put forward. And he is a good lad. He really is.
He
really
loves the
nice
game,
lad.
doesn't he?
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to get in a fight with him either.
No, he's
big.
Apparently
He's
the
nice.
best bench press at Norwich.
yeah, big
Yeah,
guns.
Big
Guns.
Now, this is my favourite question. We've already got some great replies. This is coming in from Jack. He says, where is the strangest place you've ever seen someone famous? Last month, I saw Alex Neil at Animal Kingdom in Disney World.
Yeah.
Callum Thompson then replies, well, I saw Alex Neil in Benidorm a few days after we sacked him. I remember seeing pictures of
that
it.
doesn't surprise
the TV
me.
show.
That doesn't surprise me.
And now this is my favourite one. This is coming in from Louis. Well, I saw Gary Doherty at Walton on the Naze Pier.
That's iconic.
Yeah,
That's
lovely.
actually iconic.
Well, I told you boys before we came on air. I saw Alex Neil at Jersey Boys Theatre Royal. It was the day we played Galston. I don't know if people remember, but I was on the roof.
Yeah.
For that game. You were there.
No, I
weren't you?
remember.
Saw you.
Yeah.
So I had to get on the roof to get a signal, which was funny. And it was all. Everyone was positive because we just got to the Premier League, and I saw him at Jersey Boys. About the fifth time I'd seen it. It's a great music. Have you seen it, Jersey
No.
Boys? Brilliant.
No
Go and
interest.
see it. Really?
Yeah, no interest.
Why not?
What about the
you
people
know what it's
on a
about?
different note? What about the people on a
Have you
different
seen it?
note that saw Angus Gunn and Josh Murphy at the Kebabi?
Yeah?
Yeah,
That's a
was
solid
filmed,
performer. That's got to be up there.
Yeah. I saw Andy Townsend in Home Base once when I was a kid.
Lovely. Mine's not Norwich City related, but I
Terrible
once
content, by the way.
came into contact with John Carew in a Birmingham travel lodge.
Brilliant.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah.
What was he doing
Travel
there?
lodge, bit.
That's a bit
There's nothing wrong with Travel Lodge.
No.
It's a budget hotel. They'd happily let you say that. I think. Oh, sorry, mate.
Chris, you seen any Norwich players at strange places?
Not really, no.
Chris Gorham's got
I
some
just-
good ones, but
I
I'll let him
arrange-
tell you when he comes on.
I arrange meetings with mine.
Kieran Butts
on, Kieran.
asks, what do you guys think of Sky opting not to show the derby?
Don't care because we get more listeners.
Gutted.
Well, you're
Because I
going to go, aren't
love
you?
because I love humiliating Ipswich Love on Sky so the nation can see how much of a better football club we are.
Steady.
Can we remember the last time the game wasn't shown on Sky?
Yeah, you tweeted it earlier.
Dave Freezer probably figured that out. Bless him.
5-1.
That was the last time,
Yeah.
but that was on.
Just
But then the
Thursday
one
night.
before that was on the BBC.
Of course.
BBC Sport. Yeah.
Iconic. That was Grant Holt
Yeah,
on the
Grant
start.
Holt,
So you're not snapping up the rights for this one then?
Well, we have got well,
Oh,
as it stands.
Oh.
Well,
Oh.
I can't comment, but
Oh.
we can't show video of it, can we?
No.
Because we're a radio
That's all right.
station.
No, I meant...
Oh,
on the
BBC.
telly.
No, BBC doesn't do football.
what about a
anymore.
Rob Butler Facebook live stream?
Could try
Yeah.
it, but I'll probably never work again. But
But
hopefully,
just think
all
of the
being well,
viewers.
it will be on the
Yeah.
radio, so you don't have to worry. You can. Chris Gorham will paint the pictures for you.
Yeah.
Lovely. Sam Norton. The Norwich City
Go on,
movie
Sam.
is in the cinemas, telling the story of Daniel Farke's regime.
Christ, that'd be boring.
Which actor plays Daniel Farke?
Got it.
And which actors play the footballers? Now, we're not going to go through all of the footballers,
I've
but
got it.
what actor would you have play Daniel Farke?
Russ for all the wrong reasons.
Russ Martin.
Russ is Daniel Farker.
Why?
Because
yeah.
he'd be hilarious.
Yeah, but he's not an actor.
Yeah, but because Russ could grow his barnet to the length that Daniel
Yeah.
Farker could,
Take
and
it
he's got
behind his ears.
and he's got the beard, and
Well, it's sort of a beard.
he
Not
could
as
do a
as
good
mine.
impression.
Did you just say your beard is better than Russ Martin's?
No, my beard's better than Daniel Farker's. It's not better
Right.
than Russ Martin.
I was
I'd
gonna
never
say, that's
besmirch the name of
controversial.
Russ.
That's
Who's
the
saying
title
that's very
sorted.
Come on, let's think of someone. Come on, Jack. Let's have a serious answer.
You probably have better actor's knowledge than me.
I would say Daniel Farke can be played by Christoph Waltz
There you go.
Brilliant.
because he's German. It's the only German actor I can think of.
Yeah.
The Unthanked Kitchen. Now, apologies to Chris Gorham here.
So much time for the unfair, by the way.
If Rob Butler could choose anyone for Chris Gorman
Yeah, I love it when people get the name
Chris
wrong.
Gorman.
Chris Gorman, he loves that.
to
Like Dave
co-commentate
Gorman.
with on a Norwich City match, who would it be?
Choose anyone for Chris. Oh right.
So
okay.
let's say people you haven't had already.
Oh, right,
That rules
God,
out
yeah.
probably half a
or
number.
what
Yeah.
about someone that would kind of like spark him up a little bit?
Well, then I'd have him for Canary Call after as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, true.
Well, we've had Russ. I wasn't in that day. I was away. It was at boxing, I think. So I can't have Russ. I think Russ would be really good if we had him again. But someone we haven't ever had, I would say, David McNally.
Oh, to co-commentate
Boom.
a game.
Well, he knows
Wow.
about football. He's been a director of football, or for whatever it was, chief executive. Why
Canary
not?
Call would be live.
I'd love it. It would be brilliant.
Canary.
McNally, David, so I can call him McNally, it's rude. Mr. McNally, if you're watching, I'm sure you love these boys. Get yourself on here, because
think so.
we saw some tweets from you recently, and we want to know more. And also, please come on Canary Call. That'd be brilliant.
Wow.
Could you imagine the scenes?
I'm going for Delia.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. I want Delia on here first, though.
I don't think she'd want to come on Canary Call. In fact,
Do you think
I know
David McNally
she
would
won't
want to?
go. I think he probably would, because
Yeah,
let's see.
Well, there we go.
He's
There's
got
your
a lot
invite,
to
David.
say. Well, I've already put the
You
invite
just
out
have
there.
to. You just have to watch the beverages before he goes on.
For who?
Dave McNally.
I'm not going to comment on that in any way, shape, or form,
Good.
and I'm now
Okay.
actively removing myself from that comment.
The
that Chris
Unthanked
Reed just
Kitchen. Rob Butler, I need to know your all-time favourite.
You're so
made.
BBC.
Am I getting a free breakfast out of him or something?
Don't know. I need to know your all-time favourite call on Canary Call.
oh no,
There's been some
I
classics.
saw that one. I can't honestly. They
What
all
was-
blend into one.
What was the lady with the inflatable canary?
Yeah, that was
Oh,
Pammy.
that was a
Yeah,
banger,
we all
that
love
was a
Pammy.
banger.
Great old bird. That was what she said.
She's not.
I like Dale. He's always great.
Yeah.
He's a character, and he go through take through people's letterboxes, and all that round Lower Stuff where he lives.
Yeah.
I think it's Lower Stuff anyway. I honestly, there's been so
Anyone
many.
with a Norfolk accent.
All of them, everyone. The last call, you boys come on sometimes, and everyone. I really respect everyone who comes on because there's too many people sitting there moaning about the callers. They're tuning in, which is what we want, but there's too many people moaning about the callers.
They're not having their own opinion.
Get yourself on the phone. That's what I always say to people. 0800 389 732. Our new number, free phone for people in Norfolk who don't like spending money. Get yourself on. Stop moaning about people like Chris and Jack who come on the show. Get on there yourself. We want new callers all the time.
Still slightly disappointed that the number changed. 01603 617 is still
beyond
the all-time.
I know.
Anyway,
7321. Yeah.
Bad things happen in life, don't they?
Yeah.
Sam Goodrum. Now this is an interesting one. What's your opinion on the current state of Aston Villa, and would you be happy with investment from foreign owners?
Yes.
Here we are. Stir of the pot.
Interesting.
Or prefer Delia and co with limited funds. Hashtag TNC podcast.
Yeah.
Good hashtag.
Okay, Sam. I would say good question. I would say, I've said it on air on BBC Radio Norfolk, I've got no issue with who or what, where investment comes from, because it's totally irrelevant, the foreign thing. It's totally and utterly irrelevant. It's got no foundation whatsoever. It doesn't matter where they come from.
There's good and bad people everywhere. There's good and bad people
in
the English
British owners, there's bad British owners, etc. We know that. Let's get that out of the way. In terms of Delia and Michael, they're the owners of the football club. They saved us. That's a fact. You never change that, and they've done so much for this football club. They are well loved by Norwich fans. But I think they would admit themselves that you do need help. You do need investment. You do need to take things forward. And I think, I'm sure that those questions are asked in the boardroom. I'm sure that they are open to things. And it's not a closed door. Do I want my football club to have more money and be more self-sufficient? Of course I do. Why wouldn't I? Do I want to see them in a position where they're challenging to go up every season? Yes. Do I want to see them in a position where they can keep the likes of James Maddison? Yes. So that means money, doesn't it?
Now, I already know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask it anyway. That then comes with the risk of becoming a Queen's Park Rangers, a Portsmouth, maybe an Aston Villa, financial
or a Leicester,
disarray.
Or a Cardiff who've just gone up. There are clubs that are in the Premier League that have got...
So you're willing to take that risk?
Well, it's not really a risk. It's about...
Well, it is a risk if you become a Portsmouth.
It's a risk doing what we're doing, because if no players come through and we don't produce players that are good enough to sell, we won't bring any money in.
But we are probably...
Oh, it's safe for what we're doing, yeah, definitely.
So you're willing to take the risk?
It depends on how big the risk is.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know. The answer to that question is, Jack, I don't know. All I'm saying is that we need to look at it. We need to, and I'm sure they are. They're not silly. They're not fools on the board. They know what they're doing. And I just think that the foreign element is the word that we need to take out of it. Totally and just say, I want good owners. I want good investment. That's
so
are
you saying you're not happy with the competitiveness that Norwich City is showing at the moment?
I think what they're trying to do is very admirable. I think Webber's been told to do something and he's doing it and he's doing well with it. He's trying his best and he's doing it. He's got a set of goals that he's got to try and fulfil and he's going, in my opinion, the right way about it.
Yeah.
I just think we're very much, and we have been like this for a long time, we're very much trying to be the bastion, the beacon of a football club that can do it the right way.
Yeah.
I think that's admirable.
Yeah.
But sometimes if you can't beat them, you've got to join them.
Yeah, great.
So there you go.
Great
Dance with the devil.
Sometimes you have to, but good luck. If it comes off, I'm going to be delighted because I want my football club to not be the one that everyone goes, oh, they're just throwing money at everything. We don't want that, but Man City have done it, and they're the biggest club in Europe. Completely different set of circumstances, obviously, and they've got a massively rich owner, but. We can't. I just worry that Norwich are trying to be the only club that go, this is how we're going to do it.
Yeah.
Where's the evidence that it's worked? Can you think of one?
Huddersfield.
There you go then. And that's why we got their. That's why we got their sporting director. But we're still a bigger club than Huddersfield are. We are.
Yes.
We are.
Yes.
There's no question about that. We get bigger crowds.
What about Brighton?
Well, I'm not gonna. I know you've got a vendetta against Brian.
Oh.
Look, I'll be honest with you, Chris. I've had arguments with. I've picked too many fights.
You haven't had arguments.
I've had arguments with Wigan.
Rob's done with arguing.
I've had arguments with Watford.
I'm taking the reins of that.
You can have that gimmick, mate.
Was the Wigan one over the drum?
The Wigan one was over loads of things. There was loads of things that I used to get in trouble with them.
We've almost pulled him back.
And then officially, I sort of had a truce with them when Grant Holt... A truce with myself, really, because I was arguing with myself in there. But I said to him, once they signed Holty, but then they didn't play him.
Yeah.
And Watford, that's a long running thing. So I don't ever want to play Watford again.
Okay.
Put it that way.
Now I'm going to ask another question that I think I know the answer to, because I know this man here doesn't really like music or drums or enhancing atmosphere things. But Peter asks, I suppose this is a bit different. What music should we walk out to this season, and should we bring back the 3-2-1 countdown to On the Ball?
Yes.
To which bit?
I think the 3-2-1 I liked because it was quite Norfolk. We went 3, 2, 1, kick. Yeah, I like
And it
that.
actually gets the end.
Look, I'm not against it anymore. I don't care. I just let people. I'm getting old, Jack.
You can't
Do you know what? Just let people do what they want. Honestly, I am getting old. I'm nearly 40. And that is old, believe it or not. And I just think, do you know what? If people want to do it, let them do it. I'm a reporter. That's what I do. I'm not lucky enough to sit with the fans now because I'm reporting. I'm lucky enough to do that, but I'm not going to start dictating to fans what they should do because it's nothing to do with me.
Anyway, what music should we walk out to?
I don't know.
Carnival de Paris.
Thunderstruck by AC/DC because that's a good song. Do you know the one?
Yeah.
Play it now on the podcast.
Carnival de Paris is a
I
banger.
can't, yeah.
I think we should bring out like Dua Lipa or something.
You know what? I've got a lot of interest.
Did you see the Liverpool fans?
No, Dua Lipa, no interest.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
a
not interested
that's
in
a
what
stinker
Liverpool
from
do.
you, Jack Reed.
Yeah.
That is a stinker. That whiffs. Dua Lipa.
Oh,
my
Dua
god.
Lipa.
Look, she's the most played female artist in 2018.
I'll tell you what, this one's for Chris Gore, and you can clip this out. I think we should walk out to the Ting Tings because that's the latest sound that is going on with you kids.
The Ting Tings.
Okay.
What the
Ting Tings.
Flowbots? Remember them?
No, never heard of them. Oh, another band that Jay Lawrence likes. I heard him talk about the other, the Plain White Tees.
Yeah,
With
no.
Hey Delilah, it could be Hey Delia.
No, the City Stand would like that. They're too
No.
busy moaning at her. I think anything that gets the Regency Stand and the South
The what
Stand
stand?
singing. Is that what it's called
The
now?
River End, isn't it?
Oh, interesting. I
That's
thought
what
it
it
was
is.
named
The
the
Regency
sponsor.
Security
Do you?
pays a lot of money for
I respect our
I don't care, it's
sponsors.
the River
Rob.
End. Well, I'm in the South Stand.
Who's your official crane supplier this season?
I don't know. I can't advertise.
And we, of course, don't sit in the Bark anymore, Chris.
No, we
should
don't.
do.
We sit in the Woodford's Brewery stand.
I love that.
Pathetic.
Do you?
Pathetic. Barkley End.
Let's.
No, to be fair, hang on, let's come in on that because Woodfords have respected that and they've kept the name.
Yeah,
it is still called
Yeah.
the Barclay.
Yeah,
They've not just gone. We want to pay
No,
a
it's
ton
good
of
luck to
money.
them.
Yeah, no,
Good
fair
luck to
play.
them. Yeah.
Are you a Marmite man or not?
Yeah, I like Marmite. Yeah.
On toast?
Rob.
Yeah, toast.
Yes, Rob.
With cheese as well.
Oh,
Oh no, I've got a really interesting question here. For you.
with cheese. What cheese?
This is a really interesting question coming up.
Do you like fruitcake? This isn't the
Oh
question.
yeah, yeah.
Do you
Not
have
with,
cheese
not with butter on it.
with the fruitcake?
No, someone was telling me about that the other day.
I've had a real
Yeah,
spat with someone
I
on
forget
Twitter
who it
about
was on Twitter.
this. No.
I can't remember. It was someone I worked with, and they said, "Oh, have you tried cheese on fruit?" Oh yeah, it was at a barbecue I was at the other day around Phil Daly's house, and someone said, "Have you tried cheese with fruitcake?" And I was like, "No, I don't think I ever will."
You're
conversation
getting
speaks
too old
to
for
that
those sort of
level.
things, aren't you, Rob?
Just
Stick
want,
like
I
that.
just want a
Too
slab.
old
I
for
just
it,
want a
aren't you?
slab of fruitcake on its own with a cup of tea. Don't
Solid.
need cheese. Save your cheese for something else.
Yeah.
With
Of
the
course.
Marmite.
Yeah,
Of course, all cheese is supplied by the cheese truckle.
Yes.
he's just trying to get sponsors. That's all he's trying to do.
Tony PS4 first of
Oh,
all
I love
says,
Tony.
hello Rob.
Top man. Yeah.
Interesting.
Hello Tony.
Top man.
Do you think we'll get into the playoffs this season? And he thinks that Tim Krul will be a good addition to our
I think
squad.
so. Yeah, if we get him, I'm not take away the Remy Matthews thing, Tony. You're right. Tim Krul would be an excellent signing. Do I think we'll get in the playoffs? No.
Right. Matt Gregory, would you take a World Cup win for England or a Premier League title for Norwich?
Do you know what? I've changed my tune on that. The Premier League title, absolutely, of course, 1,000,000%. However, I used to say I'd take a draw on Saturday for Norwich and rather than England win the World Cup. But I got washed away with it all this summer, and I really loved it. What the FA are saying is it connected us again with the national team.
You're not getting too old for England, no?
No, I've changed on because I've famously always said, "Oh, I jump on the bandwagon." I certainly did this year, and it was
Yeah,
brilliant.
good,
So I'm
good.
saying, obviously, I'd take Norwich winning the Premier League title, but I had a taste. We all did of England winning that World Cup this year, and that was special, wasn't it?
It was.
Could have been great.
Absolutely.
One of my favourite Twitter accounts, Saluting Sabreni, has tweeted us a picture simply of because Chris, you've said that you've
I
never
can't-
seen Dennis
I
Sabreni
can't
smile.
but laugh at that. It's just constant.
And Saluting Sabreni has found a picture of Dennis
Yeah.
Sabreni smiling.
He is. Is that when he scored?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
I think actually someone's holding his cheeks back there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Possibly.
Yeah.
What a lovely goal it was.
Yeah.
You celebrated like England won the World Cup when that goal went in. By the
I
way,
like Dennis Sabreni.
Yeah, I know you do.
I really do.
Oh, good luck. I hope he does it. He plays for Norwich, so I support him.
I'm trying to find other questions. Talk amongst yourselves for a little while.
Okay.
Thoughts?
Any more on Love Island? Oh, there was
I
another
have
one about Love Island I saw, which was who's my favourite in Love Island. I think you'll find.
Who is it? I bet it's
Well,
Laura.
I thought long and hard about this, ladies and gentlemen.
Megan?
I like
you?
Kaz. I think she's really nice and lovely girl, really pleasant. I like the surfer. What's her name?
No,
I don't know. I don't watch
No,
the
she's
show.
really
Rob,
nice.
you don't like the surfer.
The surfer. What's her name?
Come on, she's boring
Sarah or
as
something like
hell.
that. I like. Who else? I also like.
Did you like Miss Loyal?
No, I didn't like her really because she was a bit annoying, wasn't she?
Yeah.
But I think my favourite in Love Island is Josh.
Oh,
Josh
what about
Denzel.
girls though?
No, that's my favourite. You asked my favourite.
Oh, okay,
That's,
fair enough. Fine.
that's
Josh. Have you got a Love Island water bottle?
No, I haven't.
Would you like one?
I would if you. How much are they?
I'll sort you out.
ITV in the house.
Honestly,
What's
if
my
you
share
do,
price
if you
up?
get me one,
Yeah.
you get them free at Anglia.
I don't know about
I
free.
was lucky to get a free.
Get Rob on the script
Drawing
with this
pin
Rob
if I
Butler
was-
water bottle.
I promise you, I'd love it. There's nothing wrong with liking Love Island. See what I'm
No.
trying to do? I deal with football.
Are you in the
talk to
Do Bit
footballers.
Society?
No, I'm not. I connect with, we can connect. When I do my interviews, I can be all really cool, like that cool granddad, and go, oh yeah, did you see Love Island last night? And when Josh, he's always buffing and all that, and I say all these things, and I can go like the Do Bit Society. Do you watch it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, well there you go. See, well, you're the odd one out here, Jack.
You should be watching because it's putting your share price up.
Correct.
Our good friend David Giles, who was here last week.
Go on, David.
he's a good lad, he is.
Yeah, top lad. Rob, is
Not
your
big,
favourite
not
time
big
of the
lad,
year
but-
January,
Yeah,
just because of the World Bowls Championships?
up there. I know he's a big fan, isn't he, of bowls?
But he, of course, works at Potters.
He
Always
does he?
respect bowls.
I've never seen him. Tell him to come say, I love the World Indoor Bowls. We cover it massively on BBC Radio Norfolk because our listeners absolutely love it.
Good, rightly so.
Honestly, youngsters watching this now, get yourself over to Potters next year. It's electric. Well, that's all I'm going to say. The Wembley of bowls.
Is it electric?
It's absolutely electric. On finals day, when Sean Williamson, aka Barry from EastEnders, sings, honestly, the tears down my face. When he does, like,
Have you cried to bowls?
well, when you see Sean Williamson sing, I mean, I tell you what, this is on YouTube now. Just YouTube it in the search box. Where's the search box? Up here. Sean Williamson, Potters. It's a sight to behold. It's one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. He G's that crowd up, unbelievable. And
Wow.
they do
Wow.
the takeaway song,
Wow.
Pizza Hut, pizza, just to get everyone popping. It's,
Goodness
it's
gracious.
superb.
Maybe
Honestly,
they
it's a
need
great
something
show.
like that at Norwich on the pitch.
If you had
to
Barry
part
from
the
EastEnders
atmosphere.
singing On the Ball City,
Interest.
game over. We'd
You're all
3-0
over
win
it.
every week.
Yeah, I agree.
Wow.
Anyway, who is it? Along Come Norwich, they're doing a thing. That's what you want. Don't worry about flags and all that rubbish. Get Barry from EastEnders singing. That's what you want.
And of course, you're going to have the really tough thing of in 2022 when there's a World Cup and the World Bowls Championship.
Oh yeah.
So what are you
No,
going to
no,
watch?
it's December. No, it's January. The World Cup.
Oh yeah, no, they're moving, aren't they?
No, they're not moving the
The World
bowls.
Cup, not the bowls. They respect
They
bowls.
wouldn't move the. They're not going to move the bowls. There's old
Dubai.
women. There's old women and men who've booked up for like 20 years in advance. They're like, I'm going to Potters, January 2022.
Absolutely.
No, the World Cup ends in December.
Right.
they make
Sorry,
The bowls is in January.
sorry for not knowing.
Yeah,
the
but David
Bowls
Giles
get-
did say it's
Yeah,
in
you should be.
January.
You
Yeah,
should
come
be
on,
sorry.
Jack.
Apologies,
Journalist here. Look, he's not
Apologies.
reading it.
He's too busy
Another
thinking
one of
about
our
cricket.
favourites, Willamot's,
Tragic.
back
sport.
again.
Yeah.
Our favourite
Good old
landscaper
Willamot's.
of Norwich. Oh, a lovely new
It's one of
header
your
picture.
sponsors again.
Yeah, it is to be fair.
Yeah, but look at him seeding that grass.
That looks
Probably
Is that
struggling
a
with
cricket pitch?
That is a solid seeding.
Yeah.
probably struggling with the Mediterranean melt at the moment. Hi Rob, as a fellow Thought boy, did you go to Hillside Avenue?
Yeah, I did.
And did you play in the Ken Brown Cup?
Tell you what, you're talking now. I did play in the Ken Brown Cup.
And did you win it?
We won it. We beat.
Well,
I
so did
believe-
Willamot's.
Yeah, well, he's not my hand. So look at him.
Was he left back in the changing room or?
you know Willamot's?
Looks familiar. No, he wasn't
he's-
mine. He's a
he
bit
is
older than me.
legend, so.
I played centre half, number 4 shirt. They used to just give us the shirt and keep it. We kept it all season, so they didn't change the team all season. So if you're out of form, you still played.
Yeah.
And basically, long story short, Ken Brown's son, Kenny, used to go to Hillside when Ken was obviously at Norwich. He got the scoring record one season. He got about 50 goals in one season before he went on to be a professional footballer. Ken Brown was really active in the school. He bought a trophy and he said, every year, you can call it the Ken Brown Cup, I'll come and present the winner. And it was like a massive thing at Hillside.
Wow.
If you got in the team, you played we invited a team to come and play us, I think. And it was like St William's Way. Sometimes we were up the road. They were really like the rivals or other schools.
So these are big games.
It used to be like at least 200 people watching it.
Bloody hell.
It was brilliant. And the year we did it, I won. Yeah. So
Solid,
I was well happy. That's one of the greatest achievements of my life. That's why I'm quite...
Still on the CV,
Yeah,
isn't
you're
it?
getting a bit emotional,
I
actually,
am,
aren't
yeah.
you?
The famous blue shirt of Hillside Avenue.
I mean, from Barry, from EastEnders to...
Jake
Hillside.
Humphrey went there as well, Hillside.
Did he win it?
Wasn't in the team, mate.
You kept him out.
Wasn't even
Peaky,
near it,
how
no.
satisfying was it for Rob when Jordan Rhodes signed after all of the abuse he got on Twitter for informing us fans of what's going on?
It's not. I don't care, to be honest,
You
because
did, though.
He went out to Nando's that night,
I
didn't
don't
he?
want to look. I didn't really get abuse. It's just interesting how. I'm not going to go down that road because there's plenty I could say. I'll tell you when the camera's off, but it's just. Bottom line is I'm a BBC journalist. I don't make stuff up. That's what you have to remember. So if I've got, and Jack will know this, he's a journalist as well. We have to have sources. We have to check it with several sources. I'd lose my job if I just made stuff up. So rest assured, ladies and gents, if I tweet something, if Jack Reeve tweets something, don't know about him, but if I he's kosher. He's kosher. So if wherever he's tweet something, don't abuse us until it's either not happened or has happened. For a reason.
Agreed.
So if you don't want that player to sign, don't abuse me.
Did Gorham give you a pay rise?
He was happy. He was happy with my work.
Negotiating one?
I can't. I'd do it for the love of it, mate.
Right,
hardly get
finally,
paid.
Peter Hunter again.
Hang on, where's Bristol City polls this week?
Bristol Rovers polls?
Oh.
Hasn't sent us a message. Maybe their best striker's going to Ipswich for 750,000, so maybe crying over that. Anyway, finally, Peter Hunter, in your footballing prime, what position are you playing? Of course,
Centre half.
Your prime's was your prime in the Ken Brown Cup, or does it come?
No, it
before
came
that?
a bit later. I played for Thorpe School, obviously.
Yeah.
We got to a county cup semi-final.
Wow, that's good.
Centre half. Peter Keogh is my centre half partner. He's a teacher now. Somebody might have
Mr. Keogh, did he teach your Fran?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was really well liked.
Was he? No, he's great.
No, I was alright with him, but a lot of people hated him.
He's brilliant. He's a top man.
Hey, I wasn't
He's
even in
obviously
his class.
strict. Anyway, he's a good friend of mine. If you're watching, Trig.
What was your main asset of your game?
Keogh.
Peter, if you what, he won't be. He's a Liverpool.
They
fan.
all used to go
He's a big
Keogh
Liverpool fan.
like that.
He's
Yeah,
great. He was a
remember?
brilliant and a brilliant cricketer. But anyway, we're getting off the point now. My main attribute was I was up here. I read the game well, but my feet didn't do what I thought. So I was always complimented on my reading of the game, but the rest of it was
A bit like a
just
Ledley King.
correct. But I did have a little go up front
Oh.
for my club, Thorpe Rovers, and had a fairly good record. But
Yeah,
but then it ended when I was about 18.
decent.
But I'm not as good as you boys, obviously.
Chris, where did you play?
Left back.
Who did you
or
play for
bench.
again?
Poringland Wanderers,
Poringland.
FC.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. I was terrible. I think I scored 8 goals in my 4-year footballing
That's
career.
not too bad. That's about the current goal scoring rate Jordan Rhodes is on.
Absolute banger against Blowfield.
Yeah.
Absolute banger. Yeah, Mystic Manson just leapt out the way as well just before it went in. Celebration, cartwheel, kiss to the crowd, of which there were just 2 old grannies, one of which was probably my grandma.
Lovely.
Does anyone who remembers Blythe Jet School? Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Quite known for being quite. It's not there anymore, is it? A little bit. Is it?
I think they've changed the
Yeah,
name.
it's academy now. It's just different. So this was when it was originally school. I went up for a corner once there, and I scored and
Someone's
celebrated wildly because I
got
didn't
a
score.
knife out, or?
No, but it was quite scary. And in the end, we got nearly chased off the pitch because I was a bit,
Wow.
So that's where
You weren't
gotta be
being
careful.
gobby.
A little bit.
No.
And but luckily I hid behind the big stronger boys. That I just was like, I'll let you
My old
know.
man's not going to thank me for this, but he actually got banned from watching me because we played a team called Firstside at the time.
Oh, I
They were
remember
Costa
them. Yeah.
boys.
First side athletic.
Yeah, absolutely. And they hacked out Mystic Manson, who had to go to hospital. He was that ruined.
Right.
And at the end, one of the mums comes on the pitch and says, "You're not shaking their hands. Don't shake their hands." So
Brilliant.
old Pete Raffareeve fired him up big style, and he didn't return.
Good.
Good old Pete. Anyway, people have started searching for Potter's bowls. Right now.
And I don't blame them.
Absolutely.
Hemsby
But
Morris
honestly-
was my football education.
Yeah, we've got to ask Jack.
Alongside
come on.
a certain Aston Oxford.
He can play, this boy. He can play.
No, I can't.
I think-
I'll tell you another one.
I
I'll
think-
tell you another one. Connor Southwell, your good friend.
Yeah, good player.
He's
Yeah.
been on this show.
Yeah.
He played for Wroxham Youngsters.
Yeah.
Because Cedric...
Coached by
obviously
Cedric.
That's right. He said, he was a good player,
You
Connor.
know who Connor reminds me of? Peter Crouch.
Really?
Quite lanky.
tall, yeah.
He looks like he
Striker.
can't play football, doesn't he?
He
Connor?
does. He does. And Connor won't mind me saying
Intelligent
this.
as well.
Exactly. He looks like he's brains and he's like, back at school doing all his homework. But actually, he could play. That's
No,
what
he
Cedric. I respect Cedric. He played in the UEFA Cup final. So.
Definitely. Anyway, thank you so much for coming on, Rob.
No
More
worries.
transfer
Been
exclusive,
great.
I'm sure,
Good
coming
man.
from you.
Well, I
very
wouldn't
much.
go that far, but we don't make stuff up. That's all I'll say.
And remember, Yellow Friday, BBC
Yeah.
Radio Norfolk, links in the description to where you can get involved, get your voice on the airwaves. And
We want more people. We want more people like these great lads who've been brilliant for us over the years. We need more people like them. More people who think, well, no one ever wants me on. You are wanted. We want to get you on.
And the big question of the day, do you eat cheese with your fruitcake? Let us know in the comment section below. See you later.